Scott Lucas is a professor of international politics at Birmingham University here in the UK. Scott, good to see you. On the face of it, Joe Biden has perhaps the most ammunition, given the coronavirus crisis, the Black Lives Matter movement, and now Trump's tax returns. What do you think? Do you think he can deliver a knockout blow?
Well, I think in a way, it's not a knockout blow as much as two fighters that are swinging past each other. And that is Donald Trump will get personal. I sort of disagree with your correspondent a bit. He's not a great orator. What makes him different is that, quite frankly, he's a bully. He's very aggressive on stage. He's quite willing to lie, as he did when he stalked Hillary Clinton 4 years ago. And he succeeded in unsettling her. Now, the Biden camp know that, so they're going to go try not to respond to Trump's personal attacks. Instead, keep focus on coronavirus, where more than 205,000 Americans have died. Keep focus on the economic downturn. Keep focus on the need for leadership and responsibility to try to repair the situation. And at the end of the day, it's not whether one person knocks out the other, but whether voters go into the red corner and say, all right, we like Trump's aggressive, attacking, personal approach, or whether we go more for that high ground that Biden's going to try to go for, which is leadership, responsibility, and indeed decency.
I mean, I guess one of the main points of these debates is to catch those undecided voters, that try and persuade the ones who haven't made their minds up to come over to one side or the other. Is there a risk, though? I hear what you're saying about Trump perhaps having a more bullying technique, but is there a risk that because he's used to working a room and he is, this larger-than-life character, that Biden is going to come off looking slow and dull in comparison?
Oh, I think there is if the media buys into it. I mean, what happened 4 years ago is that even though, as you heard, Hillary Clinton was judged to have won the debates on the issues, the focus was so much on how badly behaved Trump was that they just sort of parlayed that into press attention. If the media continues to buy the disinformation about Sleepy Joe, that Joe Biden is not mentally capable, when in fact it's Donald Trump who's had to take a cognitive ability test, then Trump wins. If you actually stick with what happens during the debate and stick on the facts and don't go for these easy slogans, then it's much more likely that Biden's going to come off favorably, because I've got to be honest with you here. You mentioned it at the start in terms of handling the coronavirus, handling the economy, handling social issues around Black Lives Matter. Trump really doesn't have anything to stand on. He's got to hope he can shift the debate to the personal and to the spectacle rather than the substance.
But by this point in the presidential campaign, the election campaign, how much difference do these debates really make? I mean, everyone always points to Kennedy versus Nixon back in 1960, and it made a difference then, yes. But by and large, do these debates change anything?
Oh, I think your analyst had it right. I mean, look, people like my parents, who are about 35% of America, will stick with Trump come hell or high water. People who don't like Trump and who like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, maybe another 35%, they're with them all the way. But then you've got that 30% in the middle who maybe haven't quite made up their minds yet. And in this election, we have more states that are in play than I think in recent history. 13 states, the margin between the candidates is only a few percent. Now that means you get those voters in the middle, even if you don't get the ones that are already made up their minds, you probably still have the decisive swing that puts you in the White House.
Scott, great to get your thoughts there. Thank you very much indeed for that. Scott Lucas there.